Hello everybody and welcome to Planet Sky FF, the show each and every week where James and I talk about Sky Fantasy Football and dream about 50,000 big ones. My name's Suj.
My name is James.
Planet Sky FF. Sky Fantasy Football, end of game week 18 in Sky, corresponding to 16 in regular FPL.
Look at you learning.
I'm getting there. There was a period where they had aligned because of the international breaks, but we've fallen apart again now with the double game weeks. And onwards we go to game week 19. How was your game week in the end?
It was okay in the end. I finished on 80.
Not bad.
Mainly because of 56 points from Vardy and Aubameyang. I slightly exaggerated on Tottenham when I said 85%. But essentially it wasn't a lot else going for me. Man, a match for Pereira, bit of saves from Henderson. Tackle bonus, Wan-Bissaka. That's my lot, mate. But jumped back up to 8,500, which was needed after a very bog standard previous game.
You dropped to 12, right, from memory?
Yeah.
And one of the things I can't see on Sky how to do, and I'm sure someone will message me and let me know, is how to see my game week rank historically for, not game week rank, but my overall rank historically from like game week 16, 17, 18, because I haven't written it down anywhere.
No, can you remind us again, someone, please?
Yeah, I've got a plan B, which is just listen to the first 3 to 5 minutes of every Sky episode we've done so far, because we always talk about our rank, and I'll write them down from there, but I'm not too worried. But yeah, it would be good to know I've had where you were. So 12 to 8 is a decent rise of 80 points. And I was worried before the Arsenal game, actually, because I was on 88 minus 26. So call it what you got, 62. And I'd seen a lot of scores posted in the high 60s, low 70s. And I thought I was having a good week. But based on what other people have had, maybe I haven't. But then 88 in the end saw me go from 27k to 21k.
Good, you're coming.
Yeah, still going strong. And I've got, this week's a huge week for me, game week 19. According to the master spreadsheet, as the system says, computer says, so you're making 4 transfers. So
4 transfers.
If that's what the computer says, that's what we're doing.
Okay, one step back. Did you make any last game
Nah.
week? Or the midweek before?
The midweek before was when I bought in Madison.
Okay.
I got rid of Pepe, who scored yesterday, but so what? I'm happy with that. I had 88 points for the week with a captain fail in Mane, which a lot of us did.
Yeah, captain Mane
and
as well.
a blank, as in properly blank, from Tomori, no show. So from 10 players to get 88 points.
9 players.
9 players, sorry, yeah. Thanks for the maths. I can't count to 10.
I'm here all week, mate.
9 players to pick up 88. I'm happy with. The star, apart from Aubameyang and Vardy, obviously, was Baldock, who I bought in 2 weeks ago, who initially, the week that I bought him in, blanked, but then picked up 5, blanked 0, and then 5 points and 15 points, 20 points over 2 weeks.
Did you feel after they lost to Newcastle, mistake?
Nah.
And he's on 4 yellows.
No. I thought he'll be fine, and it's proved so. I think he was a long-term hold all the way through till the next overhaul now for me. It's that captaincy coverage on that Monday night game, Monday or Friday, whichever it is. Well, I don't have Sheffield United.
West Ham. It's Friday in early January.
So I needed coverage on that, and Baldock will be perfectly fine for that. So this week it's 4 transfers for me this week, according to the spreadsheet, which this is not set in stone, because this was set in stone like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Let's pick you apart. Come on.
TAA is gone after Saturday.
Yeah.
And Mane is gone after Saturday. That will be Rashford. On paper, it's Rashford and Wan-Bissaka.
That's interesting.
Wan-Bissaka maybe not so, but Rashford's coming in for Mane.
A lot of people obviously thinking of getting rid of Wan-Bissaka. Just very briefly on him. No surprise on him picking up tackle bonus in a fixture like that at the weekend. I think actually the issues in the weaker fixtures for United, where you're probably going to need the clean sheets off him to get the returns. But he was monstrous for United on Saturday, so he stays for now.
He's got 4 fixtures before I get TAA back in, which is in game week 21. The 2 that are questionable are Vardy and Soyuncu. Vardy, I've got at the moment leaving the team for Harry Kane. So Vardy out on the Saturday, Harry Kane in on the Sunday. Yep. I will captain Harry Kane on the Sunday, and
over Rashford.
It's a debate. But at the moment, according to the computer, I've said I'm going to captain Harry Kane. I may not.
Where's this supercomputer?
Yeah, it's all there. Ask our friend Jamie, FPL part. He asked for the copy of the spreadsheet, which I sent him, and he said, "Right, it's going to save him a bit of time." I don't know how you're getting on with it. I'd love to know. And I'm also captaining Harry Kane on the Boxing Day
Against Brighton.
Yep. So I'll get 2 captaincies out of Harry Kane before I then get Jamie Vardy back in.
And you're going
for West Ham.
What, for instead of Rashford then?
Instead of Kane. I'll move away from Kane back to Vardy.
You ain't selling Kane when Spurs are about to go to Norwich.
We'll see. West Ham are bad. Yeah. West Ham are bad. Would I take Kane at Norwich over Vardy at West Ham? No.
Less than 48 hours between Leicester's fixture against
Liverpool true.
And the fixture against you.
That is true. But again, we're planning 3 or 4 weeks out. This is like a provisional plan that's subject to move, right? Okay. But this week, it's about coming off Leicester and coming off Liverpool for me.
Okay.
And Soyuncu, I'm potentially looking at moving on as well. And I was originally, obviously this is not going to happen now, looking at PVA, but he's injured now.
Yep.
But I wanted any Crystal Palace or Brighton defender will do, which gives me that captaincy coverage for the Monday night game, which I don't have right now. And I'll get 3 games before Leicester come back to West Ham on the Saturday. I'd rather take a Palace defender over a Brighton defender because I think their fixtures are better.
Okay, I'll summarise a little bit because I'm in a similar position. Have you just got the 2 Leicester and 2 Liverpool then, yeah?
Correctamundo. So I've got Maddison as well. Maddison I'll just hold. I'm not going to waste the transfer getting him in and out.
I think getting rid of all of them's a waste.
What, the Leicester?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
They ain't going anywhere.
They're not, but also remember, I'm getting 3 Harry Kane fixtures for 1 Jamie Vardy fixture, and the 1 Jamie Vardy fixture is Liverpool. Sorry, I'm missing the City fixture. I'm getting 3 Harry Kane fixtures for 2 Jamie Vardy fixtures, which are City and Liverpool.
Yeah. Is Vardy not capable of returning in those games?
No, but is Harry Kane not going to tear it up in his fixtures? Wolves, Chelsea, Brighton, I'll take them.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not convinced there, mate. I'll summarise my opinion because we're in a similar position. I think a lot of people will be similar.
Remember, one other thing, if I may chuck it out there, I've got 33 transfers.
Yes, that's true.
I have plenty of transfers in the bank, and this is the time where I want to cash in and use them, right? You and I have probably been storing transfers like squirrels store nuts, right? Yeah.
Partly. I'll cover the Leicester guys first then. I've got Pereira, Soyuncu and Vardy. They're not going anywhere. I ended up with Pereira on Wednesday night because I was going to go to Tomori, from Harry Wilson to Tomori. And obviously Tomori was left out. And it worked out a right touch for me because I then ended up with the clean sheet versus Watford and then his man of the match performance at Villa on Sunday. And obviously he's a beast in this game. And I was overlooking it in the first place. And I think the reason I was overlooking it was kind of exactly what you've alluded to. Do I want double Leicester defence to play against Man City and Liverpool? No, I probably don't. But Soyuncu offers such amazing value. Pereira is a tackle bonus, assist machine. Any game, he scored against Man City last season, for example. He's a great attacking fullback. He's the far better option in this game over Chilwell, where I think it kind of levels out in FPL. In this one, Pereira, as I said, Soyuncu, what is he, 6'2"? Is he Soyuncu?
Soyuncu is £6.2 million.
It's astonishing value. I am not wasting 2 transfers because they've got 2 difficult games to take him out and put him back in. So I'm going to hold on to them. If Vardy scores against Norwich this week, he's on for the record again.
Yep.
To score against City and Liverpool to equal his own record.
Yeah.
He ain't coming out, mate. Now, I'm probably not going to captain him in them fixtures. But don't forget as well, Boxing Day, yeah, they play Liverpool. There's 9 fixtures that day. So there's plenty of other choices. Doesn't mean I have to pull him out because I'm not going to captain him. And the other fixture that week's Wolves Man City. Now, the majority of us haven't got any attacking coverage from those 2 at the moment. Probably the majority of us are currently going,
Kevin De Bruyne.
Going to captain KDB, aren't we? With 74% ownership in the top 1,000.
Yep.
Just to kind of shield it a little bit. So, yeah, there's going to be others Boxing Day. Or Aubameyang, if you end up holding that long.
He's away at Bournemouth that day.
Kane's at home to Brighton. There'll be other options. And, you could even argue you'd still go to Liverpool guys, maybe. So the Leicester guys are staying. I know 100% I want to get them back.
Yep.
There are teams out there at the moment with all 4 Leicester Leicester defenders. Definitely.
Mad.
Definitely. And yeah, do you know what? Might suffer a little bit for a couple of weeks, but the long-term goal I think is worth holding.
Yep.
Liverpool's different because obviously they play a Saturday, so you can add in the extra fixture of Sunday or Monday, whatever you're planning. Don't play the following week, then they walk into Leicester away. And you certainly feel like that period till the other side, I think they play Wolves on the Sunday, so you get another extra fixture of someone else possibly on the 28th. You go back to Liverpool at home to Wolves on the 29th or Sheffield United at home on the 2nd.
Yep.
You might even argue with those 2 fixtures, I want to wait more. But you're certainly going to want something. 100% obviously for the Sheffield United fixture on the 2nd.
Yep.
Now, I was set in my mind of what I was doing, which was Mane to Rashford. That's still happening, 100%. But I've had a change of mind a little bit on my other move away from Trent. I was going to go Zaha. And I think I've decided I'm not. And I'm debating even possibly holding Trent.
Okay. Writing out the blank.
I don't think I will. I will get rid. And one of the reasons I'll get rid is the amount of transfers I've got left. There's no real reason not to fire out and take the gains of elsewhere. The problem with Zaha, and the guys who listen to the FPL podcast will know I've fired Zaha in a while ago. It's the value is the problem. Is Wilfried Zaha worth, what is he, 10.5, 6 is he in this game?
Yep.
That's a hefty price tag for, in this game, someone who's not going to have many shot tier bonusing, not going to have tackle tier bonusing, is regularly a yellow card risk. He's probably, for Monday night, the outstanding captaincy option. Do I want Wilfried Zaha at his price, which is expensive in this game, to sit in my team for all of Christmas? And thinking about it more, I think the answer is possibly no.
No.
So I've done a bit of digging into Monday night, Palace and Brighton, and looking at the available options in terms of who do we go for. And I think because of their fixture run, most of us have been looking at Palace.
Yeah.
The outstanding option is the goalkeeper.
Gator.
Who, when he's keeping a clean sheet, for the last 3 clean sheets in a row, has picked up 11 points in all of them.
Yeah.
Martin Kelly's a safe option. Now, he's not the cheapest in this game in comparison to FPL. I think he's 6.7, Martin Kelly.
He certainly is.
But he's probably the most stable option. Now, the problem with Kelly and all of Palace defensively is it's another one. There's no tier bonusing in there. You're going to have the clean sheet. Now, they're well capable in these games. But when Kelly's hitting points, it's 7, 7, 7.
Yep.
Compare that to Gator at a cheaper price. Gator's kind of 11 out, 11, 11, 11. Problem for me, for example, is I've just gone Henderson. So I'm not going to force that out differently. I'm
still sitting on Edison. So you make a fair point there. If I was to keep Soyuncu, my Soyuncu to PVA move was only to give me coverage for that Monday night game, for a captaincy coverage. Could I go Edison to Gator instead? Would I be as happy with that and just hold Soyuncu? You're right. I'd probably rather go Edison to Gator than Soyuncu to Kelly, which is what I'd have to do because PVA is not available. I'm not so sure. And then holding Soyuncu doesn't fill me with the most fear. I still think the Vardy hokey cokey with Kane could reap benefits. It's one of those where Kane goes mental.
Yeah, of course.
I've got back up into that top 10k.
Any thought of Sonny, just for you personally, quickly?
You know my feelings about Son. I wish he was like my brother. I was going to say I wish he's my dad, but it's old enough. I'm older than him. I fucking would probably be his dad. So yeah. I think my moves here, like the way I've planned it out, I like the fact that now I'm flexible because if I move from Vardy to Kane or Son, whoever it may be, I'm still holding Aubameyang for the next 3 fixtures all the way through to Boxing Day, which is that Bournemouth game, which I think I should hold for. And then I had on paper to move him on to Sterling or Aguero. City aren't exactly a well-oiled machine at the moment. If I keep Kane, like you're mentioning, then maybe it's Aubameyang that goes for getting Vardy back in. And I've got a front line of Kane, Vardy and Rashford, who will then move after in the middle of game 21 back to Mane, who I want to captain for quite a few weeks thereafter. So the options are there. And I feel like that Kane double captaincy on Kane in that period could shoot me up the ranks because there will be a differential there.
Okay, interesting. So for Monday night, for clarity, are you going in on this or not?
To Palace.
Or, well, I'm going to talk about Brighton in a second.
Yes, I'm going to be making a move to it. Yeah. You've just turned my head on Guaita over moving away from Suj instead of Edison, which could be interesting.
You've still got Edison, haven't you? Oh, get that done.
Yeah, so I feel like actually mentioning that might be a better move longer term than leaving the money tied up. I still struggle to spend the money in this.
Cover. If I take Henderson out, I'm losing what I know is a definitive Friday night coverage further down the line.
Yeah.
And I do like what I said last week about Henderson is, even at the weekend, there are save bonuses in him constantly. Not so much with Gator, but it feels like when he's picking up the clean sheets, there are the additional couple as well.
Yeah.
I looked at the rest of Palace, and you look at Milivojevic is on 7 yellow cards.
Yeah.
Just causes. You remember, you're going to captain this guy on Monday night. Just causes hazards. MacArthur picks up tackle bonus. You're not going to go for Jordan, are you?
No.
So I think the outstanding one. I think the best captaincy option Monday night would be Zaha for the one-off, but I'm not sure in this game that I want to carry him further.
No.
So I think I'm going to take a different route. I think the outstanding Palace one, if it's for a hold, is Gator. So I looked at Brighton because I feel like it's been completely overlooked, and every time I watch them, I feel like they're a good side.
Yeah.
I think Morpay's an option.
Yep.
He's cheap. He's one that you could potentially dive in. Goalkeeper falls into the category as well. Midfield's a little tricky. Dale Stephens actually would have been an option in this because of tackle and pass possibilities, but he's suspended for the game Monday night, so it rules him out. I think it's 7-6.
Excuse me. Yep.
But I've narrowed it down to 2 and then 1 essentially. Now, probably people are screaming into their ears about Dan Burn at 4.6. Now, because of the price, there's interest there. The one that I'm really looking at now is Lewis Dunk, who's 7.9 million. And I know straight away with him, what are you going to pay that 3.3 million for? It's a short-term option up towards possibly only Boxing Day, but possibly a little bit further. And one of the things I noticed when I was looking through Dunk's stats is the amount of passes that he's had so far this season. Van Dijk, Siyunku, Zuma, Alderweireld, Robertson, Johnny Evans are the only players who have made more passes than Lewis Dunk so far this season.
Pass tier points or just passes?
Just passes,
okay.
Generally. 854 passes in total. He's also, it's not something to be decisive in your decision making, but he's also, looks like he's on the odd free kick now. Mm-hmm. He's also the most well-known of that defensive unit. Now, Brighton are well capable of going to Palace and shutting them out on Monday night because Palace are not the best attacking side. I think 0.08 XG against Watford and 0.29 against Bournemouth or something. Admittedly, mitigating circumstance against Bournemouth. But if one of them was to pick up the man of the match defensively, it's him.
Yeah, I just look at the 2 fixtures straight after, because for me this is a 3-game move. Palace away could easily be a 0-0 or tight, but I don't see a clean sheet there for Brighton, if I'm honest with you. Sheffield United at home, they play afterwards. Now, Sheffield United haven't lost an away game all season, so that's going to be tough. Chris Wilder's going to have them up for it. So I don't see that. And then Tottenham away at your place. Now, you need to get revenge for that 3-0 battering that you got at their place. So I think Tottenham are going to be up for it. So I don't see that Sheffield United home fixture and the Boxing Day fixture away at Spurs don't make Brighton a good option for me over Crystal Palace, who've got obviously Brighton, but then Newcastle fairly toothless in attack, West Ham fairly toothless in attack, and I'm being generous here. Followed by Southampton and Norwich thereafter, should I want to just hold on for a little bit longer.
He'll pick up pass bonus against Tottenham.
Who will? Lewis Dunk. You think you're going to sit deep against them and let them have the ball?
Particularly if we score early. Yeah, Brighton will have a lot of the ball against Tottenham.
I don't know. You're looking at 3 or 4 games.
Burnley had more of the ball at the weekend. Me and Tarkovsky only just missed out on pass tier 1.
But they missed out.
They lost 5-0,
I just think, look, I'm not saying that Dunk's not a bad shout from Brighton. I just don't see how it's a better option than Palace. But if you wanted to hold him a little bit longer, then yeah, by all means. It's not one for me.
I'm going to give strong thoughts to Lewis Dunk because, like I said, I think there's Sheffield United at home. Yes, they've been very good so far this season, particularly away from home. But it shouldn't hold fear in a week that's going to be very difficult for fixtures to have a player in a decent home fixture. Tottenham away, honestly, I'm telling you, pick up pass bonus in that game.
Yep.
Bournemouth at home, 28th. Completely impotent at the moment. And then 29th, potentially back to Liverpool. Before Brighton play Chelsea. You could even make a case that looking through further, Everton, Villa and Bournemouth after Chelsea.
Yep.
Doesn't hold huge fears. I think for a longer term hold, you might as well just go down to Burn and spread that money. I think for a short term to cover me off before wanting to go back to Liverpool when they play Wolves.
Yep.
I think he's a decent shout.
Yeah. I mean, my move was always Trent to AWB and then Suyuncu to Kelly to give me that coverage. If I went Edison to Gator, I've got no reason to move away from Suyuncu now to give me that coverage, which was PVA. And then Trent, I will still move on and move off. It saves me a single transfer back to Suyuncu later, which potentially could be worth something. So there's something to be said in that for sure.
I just thought I'd attack it from a different angle because I think everyone's looking at Monday night who want to get involved and looking at Palace. I think probably the overall on it is unless you've got a nice in and out strategy, which I think I might have found here, then actually don't stress yourself about it. I think the best pick overall for Monday night as a longer term, it is Gator.
Yeah. Should we do some questions on the old Twitter machine? Let's give them 6, 7, 8 minutes of that. But I think, we might need to make this show a little longer soon because there's a lot more to talk about. We're just learning. We've still got our L plates on here now. You ready for this?
Go on.
At Kyle_Wells89. Kyle, thank you for your question and listening in. How did Maddison not get an assist for the Iheanacho goal?
We don't know.
There was a tweet put out by Luke, FF_Scout_Luke, I think it's D1 Save or something, about something to do with the way Sky take their data directly from Opta and it's to do with the angle of the touch or something. So if you look back, because he put it out on Twitter at that exact time, that it was not going to get given in Sky, even though it was given in FPL as 2 assists. Sky get their data from a different person. There's probably 2 people sitting next to each other, probably in the VAR office, that are fucking handing out these points. I swore, I shouldn't swear.
We don't know the answer.
No, but it's to do with wherever they're getting their data from. I saw yesterday as well that they changed the man of the match. I think Dan put it out from Aubameyang to Pepe.
Yes, so I do know that last night, because I just happened to be looking at the time, I know that there was a few people putting on Twitter that it had been given to Pepe. And then I logged in and my total was 6 more than I'd anticipated. So I assumed Aubameyang had got a lot. Looked at Aubameyang and he was on 0. I was like, I don't know what you lot are doing here. So I thought that, they're redoing it, and then looked again a couple of minutes later and Aubameyang was on 26 for me.
Right. I get this funny bug sometimes where it doubles my captaincy points. Not only doubles them, but quadruples them. And I've logged in and I've seen like 127 points. I'm like, I only get it on the website. I'm like, they've doubled my captain. There's a bug in there somewhere that you need to have a look at, my friends at Sky.
Yeah, Mark, Dan, have a word. Cheers.
Yes. This is an interesting one, tying in a little bit of FPL as well, because we've spoken about it a lot in FPL, about Spurs assets, and we spoke about Kane here. I've got a few people asking about Dele Alli as a replacement potentially for Kevin De Bruyne in this game. Now, Dele Alli is expensive in Sky, probably too expensive, would you say?
Considering.
You're considering him?
Yeah, well, the other thing of going to sort of
10.6 million
from Trent to Dunk level does allow me to go from Mount or McGinn level to Ali, if that's a move that I want to make. Yeah, I'm considering Dele Alli. It's possibly a way in for Spurs. I'm not certain that I'll end up with Kane or Son. I'm pretty sure I will, but if not, Dele Alli's possibly a way into Spurs.
For me, because of the Vardy move to Kane, I'm not looking at doubling up. So 1 out of Kane and Son would be plenty good for me. Tartan Espanol has as a question on basically hold or sell on the following 3. Mount.
Hold.
I'm on hold as well. Value's too good, right, in this game.
I'd be conscious what we kind of said when I think we were speaking about it on Tottenham podcast yesterday. Mount is every chance Mount won't play in the Arsenal and Tottenham away fixtures that they've got, which is 2 or 3 fixtures away in December. It might therefore be worth looking at getting away beforehand, which would probably mean moving off after the game on Saturday. There's a case for it. But I really wouldn't know if it was Mount or Pulisic that got favoured if Lampard decides in those 2 away games to go Jorginho, Kovacic, Kante.
Yeah. What's your views on Yuri Tielemans?
I said on the main podcast Monday, I thought he looked tired on Sunday. I don't think it's a major issue. But in this game, Maddison seems to hold a little bit more value, certainly currently.
You changed your opinion from a few weeks ago. Where you thought,
certainly them playing a diamond is not good for Tielemans' attacking returns. When I watched them sort of around the time they went to Palace and then played Arsenal, it really was kind of going towards a 4-1-4-1 with the 2 wide players staying really wide and allowing Maddison to do his thing and Tielemans really to join in and get into the box late.
Yeah,
that's become less and less the last couple of weeks. So yes, now if you pinned me, I would say Maddison. Yeah.
And the last one we've spoken about in previous shows as well about the timing on Aubameyang. He says he's got an itch to get off Aubameyang. For me, it's not until New Year. Still on Aubameyang. Still got a few fixtures. He's going to be getting the armband on in game week 20 against Everton, isn't it? That fixture.
He is a possible captain option in that fixture. The Saturday of that game week is ugly.
Yeah.
Really ugly. I think it's kind of clear with probably Rashford against Watford on the Sunday or a Spurs or Chelsea asset if you prefer. The Saturday's ugly. I mean, do you go Aubameyang at Everton or say Vardy at City or do you go De Bruyne?
I'm on Aubameyang at the moment. I'm going to keep it on
Take a punt elsewhere. If you go down the line of Maupay, for example, would you consider him at home to Sheffield United? You wouldn't consider, I think in this game, you wouldn't consider Zaha away to Newcastle, I don't think.
No. For the sake of a transfer over 2 or 3 weeks, I don't see getting rid of Aubameyang yet as necessarily the right thing to do.
I think as it would stand now, I would probably go Aubameyang at Everton on that Saturday currently and then sell.
Yeah, which is my plan as well, yeah.
That said, Bournemouth away on Boxing Day, with the amount of injuries they've got currently, it's a little tempter. But you can obviously then get off on the Saturday and join in with Rashford or Kane or Son or Abraham or whatever you want now.
You know, someone's going to get injured between now and then as well. That's going to force your hand.
And suspensions.
So yeah, that's going to really play a part. So just keep an eye on it. I think like you had a touch with Tomori in seeing that he had injured, and you've got to. That's why you leave it late. I mean, it's one of Dan Cox's rules, and we try and do what you can. It's why you potentially leave it late.
Just interesting on that when and thank you, Dan Cox was messaging me at the time. I was in the pub waiting for the Spurs game and that. We were talking about it. One of the things Dan did say, and it was a great shout. I was doing it anyway, but it's a great in principle. If you then decide to change and maneuver your plan, like obviously Pereira's a lot more expensive than Tomori. The one thing Dan said to me was, you know, if you were still planning to go Kane further down the line, run through all your transfers and make sure you could still get
afford
there.
it. Yeah.
But I was well spare anyway because we were talking about premium midfielders, weren't we? So it didn't affect me, and then once I looked at it in that way, it was a no-brainer.
Right, Rob Pick at RobPick86. How are you, Rob? As players of the main FPL game, what are your feelings on the way that man of the match works in Sky? Rather, as in choosing one random person rather than any kind of points-based system. I suppose it's man of the match in Sky is literally cherry on the cake. Cake is attacking returns. Icing is tier points, and man of the match is the cherry, right? I don't factor in man of the match awards into my decision making on who to buy. Tier points, yes. Man of the match is just a Brucey bonus.
No, but then if you take that, if you look at the game Monday night, Palace Brighton, for example, like if Palace play well, I mean, the flip on Zaha's numbers is if they play well, he's liable to be man of the match, isn't he? Mm-hmm. That's the flip of it. So he might cover off the lack of tier points there, for example. You could make a case for. I've kind of thrown in the argument that I think if Brighton perform well defensively, why Lewis Dunk might get that, for example.
Yeah, I think he's used an interesting word there. One random person, like take the Leicester game, right? Vardy scores 2 goals. They have a great game. Maddison 2 assists, 4-1 victory. Pereira no attacking returns, no clean sheet, man of the match. So a performance is random in the sense that it's not related to necessarily output from that point of view. So you can make a case for anyone on their day. From that kind of point of view. So I don't really factor in man of the match. I think it's just a little bit of added randomness. And let's be honest, if choosing one person at random is random, then fucking BPS system in FPL is random as well.
No, but there's certain people on trend, for example. So you could take...
Traore.
I'm thinking more like, say someone like Jack Grealish at Villa.
Yep.
Who's probably, say, really definitely the standout there technically. If they perform well, it's a good shot he's getting it. Mm-hmm. He's only had 3 so far this season. Mane's now joint with Traore with 5 for the most. Rashford's had 4. Abraham 4. Then you got Syunku in here on 3. KDB only 3. Feels quite light, really. Maddison on 3. Where does Jamie Vardy appear on this list? Not anytime soon, which is interesting. Yep. 2 man of the matches so far for Jamie Vardy.
16
Having
goals
scored in
only.
8 games in a row.
And 16 for the season so far.
Yeah, I mean, make it out of you. That's the same as Lee Smousse, Jordan Ayew, Trossard, who's hardly played for Brighton. There's so many others on 2 as well. Mm-hmm. Yes, unfortunately, it does appear to be you probably get less randomness in the live games, I'd say.
Yeah.
Alan Smith, I think it was Alan Smith, gave it to Pereira in the Villa-Leicester game on Sunday. And I was in complete agreement with that choice, actually, in spite of Vardy scoring twice. I thought Pereira was outstanding during the game. He offered Leicester everything defensively and going forward. And I quite like that as an alternative shout. It doesn't seem to be any overall pattern so far, though.
No, for sure. That covers the Twitter questions.
Cool.
And yeah, all moving smoothly and nicely. I need to just think and plan now what I'm going to do. It's interesting now that there's a few more attacking forward options like Kane, Son, Aubameyang, Rashford, Mane, Vardy. I think we'll end up with a little bit more diversity in front lines soon. I could easily see myself with a front line of Kane, Mane and Rashford, for example, no Vardy. So
we're going to end up in the opposite situation of me and you being too cautious. We probably eventually will get to the point where me and you are being very aggressive, and other people are having to hold, for example.
Yeah, but I'd always planned this week as being this, an aggressive week followed by Christmas week with Boxing Day, and then it's a double game week the week after where you've got 2 lots of fixtures in one week to be aggressive the way back, reversing some of my moves and bringing Liverpool and stuff back in. So this next 3 game weeks, within which there are actually 5 sets of fixtures for a lot of teams, is going to be really important for me. I want to be inside the top 10k by the end of this. Otherwise, I'm not.
Come on, Suj.
Yeah. It's not a lot to rise up over 5 match weeks. I think planning 8 transfers gives me almost the 6th game week, right?
I don't think I'll see a lot of difference in my rank between now and New Year. I think I'll steadily rise a little bit. I think the swing will come for me once we hit February. I'll start jumping. You can start jumping quickly, I think. To close, I think the advice generally is don't hold the Liverpool assets, do get rid, right?
Yes, 100%.
Unless you're on if you're on 6 transfers left or something, I'd probably hold them.
If you're on 6 transfers left, and hold the transfers until
you think still sell Leicester, or have you thought differently about it?
Vardy, yes, for Kane. I think that's or Son or whatever you're looking at. I like the look of that. The Syunchu one was always a bit of a luxury move that gave me the coverage on Monday. So if you've got coverage on Monday, Maddison I'm not selling. I may hold out Syunchu actually and move from Edison to Guaita to give me that coverage. And then I've got a little bit more flexibility in what I do with Trent. I could move to a midfielder rather than a defender and move to a 3-4-3 formation.
Okay. I would advise holding Leicester is my opinion. I will definitely be going Mane to Rashford on Sunday. Where I go from Trent could be just about anywhere. I could go from Trent to Dele Alli. There's a lot of options there. I don't think it's an absolute necessity to have something for Palace Brighton on Monday.
I could afford the Trent to Dele Alli move as well. So yeah, it's not. You've got decent fixtures of Spurs playing well and in form. Not a bad move to potentially consider. Thank you for tuning in to Planet Sky FF, the show where we talk about Sky Fantasy Football. If you're new to the game and haven't played yet, then do get involved because it really is a good game to get into. If you like strategy and planning, then it's much more kind of long term than short term in my mind. You have to think with a longer term head than a shorter term head than you do with FPL. We'll be back at you next week with a review from game week 19, and we'll see how my 3 or 4 transfers have played out. You're just making the 1 this week or none?
2
this week. So
Mane out, TAA
out. So two transfers, James. Probably 3 for me, maybe 4. We'll see how this.
I tell you, who is a good cover for that Saturday. It would probably mean for a lot of people binning Aubameyang early, but Jimenez that Saturday of game, it'd be game week 19 in Sky.
Yeah,
away to Norwich is an interesting one.
20 in Sky.
Obviously, you could go to him Sunday.
There we go. If you've got any thoughts or comments around Sky, then do interact with us at PlanetFPL Pod on Twitter, at Suj and Shah on Twitter. That's where you'll find us. We're interested to know what your thoughts are. Other than that, do stay tuned for all the rest of the content coming at you this week. Ciao for now.
Good luck, everyone. Cue music, man, child.
The Fantasy Football Show.